Hi guys, it's Tracy. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me. So today I'm making a coffee themed card, and it's another card for a challenge that I'm a design team member for. This is the inside of the card, and I'll show you the outside a little bit later. So let's get started. What I'm using is a stamp and die set that came as a freebie on a magazine. There was also a stencil with the set, which I was going to use, but then I changed my mind. The magazine is called Simply Cards and Papercraft. Now this is a UK magazine. It was issue 177. And you can see on the back of the magazine they had some little ideas there to use that stamp and die set. So that's Simply Cards and Papercraft, issue 177. The die set I'm using is by Karen Burniston, and it's Rock and Rectangle Pop-Up 1089. Moving on to the card now, and I'm going to take the coffee cup stamp from the set, and I'm going to stamp that down with some Altenew Crisp dye ink in the espresso colour, and I'm stamping it down onto some craft cardstock. I then take the lid from the set and cut that from some cream colour cardstock. I also then stamp and cut out this sleeve for the coffee mug, which I fussy cut out. So I'm just positioning them now how I'd like them to look, and I'm going to pop up the lid of the coffee cup to give it some dimension with some 3D Scotch foam tape. I then glue down the sleeve for the coffee cup with GK Connect glue. Once I've got all this stuck down and I'm happy with how it's looking, I set the coffee cup aside for later on, and I move on to the card. For the card base, I'm using a chocolate coloured cardstock from my stash, and it is a side folding 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card. And I have these wood grain pieces which I have layered inside the card, and you can see there that's my layering piece for the front of the card. So I've got the die set now, and I'm getting out the scallop frame from within the set, and it's time to position that on the front of the card and get it ready for the smaller rectangle to go inside it to cut the window. So I'm positioning the smaller rectangle inside, and then I'll remove the scallop one and I'll run that through my Gemini. And now I have a window there. Now onto the mechanism for the pop-up, and these are the two pieces you need from the die set, and I'm cutting those from chocolate coloured cardstock. Now whilst I was making this card, I was following Karen Burniston's tutorial for this die set, and I will link that down below. Karen's tutorials are very easy to follow, which makes it great to make these interactive pop-up cards. So I'm just scoring along the folds, and I've got this other piece here, and I'm folding over the edge pieces there, and they are for reinforcement. So I'm just gluing them down with some Tombow Mono adhesive glue. And you just fold those over like that, and that gives that particular piece some added strength. This piece does actually look like a pair of trousers, and that's what Karen Burniston calls it. And you can see it looks like legs with the feet down the bottom. And I'm just reinforcing all the folds. And you can see now that I'm about to put the feet through the slits of the mechanism piece. I do have to fold the corner of each one to fit it through, and you'll see that I unfold it once I've threaded it through. Karen does explain this a lot better than what I can. And you can see that I've got those pieces in, and it's time to glue the feet down. But I just followed her tutorial exactly, and I'm very pleased with how my card came out. The cards look complicated, but they're not really. Karen's tutorials are very good. So that's the mechanism ready, and it's time to put it inside the card. So I'm centering it, and I've just folded back the tab with my finger there, and I'm going to put some glue on the back of that tab and then push it down right up against the score line of the middle of the card. Just putting some glue on the tab on the other side, and I'm making sure that it's straight and even, and then I'll fold the back of the card down on top of it. Make sure it gets a good hold. And yes, it is getting caught in that hole, but that's okay. These two rectangles are part of the set, and Karen encourages you to use these pieces as strengthening for the mechanism. It helps the pop-up work better. So I'm just sticking them down into place before moving on. So it's time now to move on to the front of the card and get that sorted out. And I've got a piece of acetate here, and I've got that layering piece of wood grain card. I'm sticking the acetate down with some 1/8 inch score tape, and I've already gone ahead and stuck that layering piece down. I'm using the scallop rectangle and the smaller rectangle layered inside each other out of craft cardstock, and I'm going to run that through my Gemini to get a frame to go over the acetate window. So I stick that down, taking care to line it up correctly over the window, directly on top of the acetate there. Once I've got that stuck down, I go ahead with the other die pieces from the set, and I create a piece that will be stuck down onto the mechanism. So I'm gluing that down now, but I line it up against the window and then push it down onto the glue. That was the best way to line it up. And you get a quick glimpse there of the rocking rectangle. I then go ahead and cut out with the 2 rectangles from the set. There's one big rectangle and a smaller one, and layer them inside each other to create this frame that I'm going to put against the window on the inside of the card. I also go ahead and cut another one, and that's to go on the window on the outside of the card. It just completes the window frame and finishes it off nicely. And all the dies that you need to do this are included in the set, and that is what is also good about Karen Burniston's die sets. Everything you need for the card is usually within the die set. So moving on, and you can see now I'm checking out the rockin' rectangle, and I love the way it opens out and throws that piece out, and it has a bit of a rock to it. I've gone ahead here and I've stuck the coffee cup down, and I'm sticking on the steam. And I do jump a fair bit ahead here because I had to stop the video to have a think about what I was going to do for the front of the card. And you can see there I've got coffee beans running down the front and also around the window frame with hello on the front. And then you open it up and the coffee cup comes out, and that's also decorated on the inside with these coffee beans. The coffee beans were a cut file that I purchased from the Silhouette Design Store, and I cut it out on my Silhouette Cameo. Also the hello and the let's do coffee. And I put tonic nouveau glaze over the top of the coffee beans to make them look a bit more realistic, and also the words so they would stand out a bit more. And you can see I created another panel to go in next to the coffee cup that says let's do coffee. So there we go guys, this card is now finished. If you'd like to go to my blog, there'll be an entry there that explains the challenge that this card was made for. And if you'd like to subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really love that. Thanks for watching guys, have a great day, and bye for now.